But that's what's going on. She always has to hold in her, like sucking in your stomach.
Yeah.
All day long. That's probably a more mature route to go. But yeah, so if she relaxes, then the power comes out, and that could fuck anybody near her, apparently.
Well, the Birdman is like, well, tough shit. You wanted this, and you're too far in. Like, you should have thought about that a hot minute ago, because you're locked in here now, and the spirit will see you and kill you if you don't fucking take the frog, Kahlan. So she takes the frog.
You doing toad, Jade?
Yeah, doing a little toad.
Doing a little toad.
Now, I want to point out that at this point we have, what did you say, 8 old men sitting on the dirt, naked. It's hot. I just, all I can think about is their sweaty balls just like on the dirt.
I was like, where are you going with this? Yeah, it would be unpleasant. Well, they are covered in mud too, so they're dirty already. So maybe they just give them a little dip so that nothing will get on them directly.
Like chocolate covered strawberries? Like the Birdman cupped his hands and they all just bloop a little bit.
I mean, maybe like, hey, it gets dusty in there. This is gonna make it better, okay? Just don't question. Little boop, and it's over. Just like you said.
Okay.
Helps protect against sunburn too, you know?
It'll help in a lot of areas, all right?
Wow.
At this point, everybody has done the toad and is sufficiently tripping balls.
They always manage to trip. This is like the 3rd trip we've been on in this book so far.
I don't know if Terry was like all about his psychedelics or what. Richard is, apparently. And they're all seeing what Kahlan thinks is shadow people at first.
Well, they have faces. And not only that, they have the faces of the mud people.
Okay, yeah.
So she's like, wait a minute. Shadow things don't have faces.
And when they are, like, impersonating people, it's like your people, right? Not like other people's people.
The way I kind of picture it is that the shadow people are just a shadow. They don't have any features. If you're near the boundary and they're trying to get you to come into the boundary, then they look like a regular person, like your people. But these are neither one of those two things. These have faces. They're dark. They're spirits, obviously, like a shadow, but they have features. They represent a certain person, right? So everyone's in a circle, and the people look like they're glowing because they are in the same space as the spirit. And this is when Richard gets grilled. They start asking him question after question, trying to figure out exactly what his intentions are, what kind of a person he is, how he feels about different things, just trying to determine whether or not they're going to help him.
We love the narrator of the books. I'm really bad at saying his name. Sam Chuchuvus?
Chuchuvus.
Choo-choo like a train.
Yes. Yep.
But the spirits have this crazy, monotonous tone, and I get that they're like all speaking together, but it is so hard to listen to when they're like droning on.
Yeah, when you get into something that's more than a paragraph long, in that same monotonous voice, it gets kind of difficult to listen to. I almost thought, I don't want to be mean, but like get to the end.
Yeah.
It was enough. At that point, that's when you stop the Audible and you just read it yourself.
Right. That was one of the first times that I have not wanted to listen to him read the book and would rather just do it myself.
So right here, they start this back and forth with Richard. They ask a question, he gives them an answer. They ask another question, he gives them another answer. So this part may be a little bit reedy, I guess, but they're trying to get to a specific concept here. And to be fair, Goodkind does brilliantly with this, I think.
With the way that it, like, is slowly pulled out without being super dragged out.
Right. He's trying to create a rule.
Yeah.
This is something that this book adheres to. Pay attention to this. We are going to explain every detail. You mean like this? No, not quite like that. But this other thing here, this matters. Now pay attention to this. But like you said, he does it in a way that it's not overkill.
Right. At this point, the spirits ask why he called the gathering. He's like, I need to get this piece of magic before, that really bad dude does.
Yeah, I gotta beat him to it.
Right.
And they're asking him questions like, how many men have you killed? And if you felt justified in doing so. And he's like, 2. He was in self-defense. And yeah, I feel pretty good about that. Then they ask him if he enjoyed killing the men. And he's like, yeah, but I mean, only because that's how the sword works. I hold it and I'm angry. And, if I'm holding the sword, then I like doing it. But otherwise, no, I wouldn't.
At least for the second one.
Right, for the second dude. The first guy...
Yeah, he kicked him off the wall. So
yeah.
He's like, whatever. And the spirits don't give a shit that it was with the sword. I think probably because it's hard to determine if that is the only reason you enjoyed it. Especially because in this line of questioning, they kind of find out that the main reason above all else that he wants to kill Darken Rahl is because Darken is going to kill Kahlan. I mean, there's other reasons that he gives before that. Like, killing his dad, the fact that he's going to kill everybody. So, he has ample reason to want this guy killed and to want the magic that he's asking for.
Oh, yeah.
Now, they don't necessarily agree with him killing people, but for their own reasons, they've decided to help him. So they're like, what kind of magic do you want us to help you find? And that's when he's like, yeah, just a little box of Orden. That's all.
And immediately, Richard gets shut down. The spirits say, nope, we're not allowed to tell you anything about that. The boxes of Orden are in play. This conversation is over. Fuck you. Be gone. Immediately, they're like, this is done.
And Richard does what kind of seemed like a child taunting to them. You're like, oh, you're just chickens. You're not even great spirits anyways. You don't protect your people. Richard kind of gets them to come back, though, and renegotiate what exactly he's asking for. He's not asking for the location of the box anymore. Now he's asking for, like, third, fourth person knowledge of the box. And there's somehow a loophole to where they're allowed to say this.
Yeah, he doesn't want to know who has the box or exactly where it is. Now he's asking if they can tell him somebody who knows where the box is, but is nowhere near the box. But if you think about it, if you really go deep, he's asking where it's not.
Right.
Which is not the same thing as asking where it is. But it's like, okay, it's not in the south. Let's head north, guys.
Right.
So he asks them if they can tell him the name of somebody who knows where it is, but isn't near it. And they finally reveal that a witch woman in Agaden Reach named Shota knows where the box is. But it's up to Richard to get that info from her because they are not about to fuck with a witch woman.
Right. And that would, like, violate the loophole. So, technically, they're allowed. It's like when someone tells you a secret and they're like, don't tell anybody, but you write it down because I didn't technically tell you, so I'm okay.
Right.
But Kahlan, like, freaks out and She at first doesn't even tell him what they say. She kind of clams up a little bit, but then she's like, not even wizards go there. It's like suicide.
Right, but Richard's mind is made up. He's like, I don't care. Like, we have to go there. We don't have another choice. So we're going to Egg and Reach, bitches.
Let's go.
I can picture Richard standing up right then and being like, all right, let's go. Bye. Thanks. Peace.
We got a plan. We've been here for 3 weeks. Let's fucking get a move on.
Right. Sick of the woods. Let's go.
So the spirits wish him luck. They're like, use your head. Basically, it's going to get worse before it gets better, but that's on you, not on us. Richard thanks them for their advice and tells them that he's going to heed their warning. And before we tell you the last thing that they have to tell Richard, we're going to take a little break, I think. We'll be right back.
And we are back. So the spirits have just wished Richard and Kahlan luck. And he goes, thank you for your advice. I appreciate that. I'm going to listen to it. And they say, good, because we have one more thing to tell you before you leave. Why don't you go ahead and sit down? And they tell him that Dark and Rawl is here. Like here. Like in the village, killing people here. And of course, Richard like jumps up and he's like, well, let's go kill that motherfucker. And they go, no, see, that's what we wanted to talk to you about. If you go out there now, he'll kill you. You can't use the sword against him, so really it's just you running out there to die. So even though what he's doing is despicable, you gotta let him do it. Obviously, Richard chooses what he thinks is the correct thing by not going out there to try and save people. And I know that logically this is what he needs to do. But I also feel like it's a bit of a coward's way out, not calling Richard a coward, just saying, isn't it easier to just do nothing? Yes, you're having an internal struggle. Yes, you would like to go save people, but you also know that if you die, this guy wins.
I feel like in most situations, you would be like, there has to be a third option. In most books, there would be a third option.
Some other way to act and, like, stop this guy from killing people?
Yeah, save the people.
Right.
But not in this book.
No.
When he's in the spirit house, when he's in the mud people's village, he is hidden by his symbols on his body.
The mud symbols, right.
Dark and Rawl can't see him. So even though his, like, shit's apparently laying outside and everybody knows that Richard is in the village, Darken knows he's in the village, he's searching for him, he can't find him.
I think that when the Birdman says they are sealed in by the spirits, I think that they are actually sealed in by the spirits. And even if Dark and Rawl tried to open the door to the spirit house, he would not be able to. Because magic.
No, and I feel like you're probably right. But they also say, like, Richard's like, but isn't he just gonna be out there? He's gonna be out there when I come out. And they say, oh, he's got other shit to do. And I really feel like that's kind of a weird, like, you've got more important shit to do, just burn the village down. And the only protection, you're right, like, if it's a spirit thing, maybe there's like a bubble over the spirit house. But otherwise, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can agree that it's a pretty fucking awful choice to have to make. And that, especially after this, it's got to be draining. He's tripping balls, for one. He has just held his own against several spirits who are very fucking logical and tricky as hell. That has to be a mud person trait. They're very fucking smart. Like, the Birdman was doing wordplay with Kahlan a few chapters ago, so he's intelligent.
And I'm sure Richard's digestive tract probably isn't doing great at this point either, because he's had some weird stuff in there.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, he's probably pretty drained.
Right, and so now this is another thing he has to deal with. And because Richard is who he is, he genuinely cares about these people. Like, to him, much like what I just said, okay? I made seem like Richard could be a shitty person by not